Greetings. My name is Maxwell from City Cloud. We are going around the country talking to entrepreneurs, talking to youth about the initiatives that they are doing that are transforming lives in the communities. So today we are in Domboshava, in Chief Shinamora's area. We are exploring a chicken project that's being done by a young lady by the name Chenai. Chenai is not doing this alone. She is getting the help of experts who are in the field. Greetings, Donald.
Greetings, Mr. Maxwell.
I understand you are the one who are working with Chenai.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about what Harvert Horizon is and how you started your consultant business?
Yes. So Harvert Horizon is an agri-consultancy company. We are mainly focused with helping farmers in poultry and in horticulture. That's where we are, and we have 4 packages while we're working with the farmers. We have the standard package, we have the basic package, we have the VIP package, and the platinum package, which you actually shall hear in the following coming sessions.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So maybe Donald, to begin with, what does the standard package include? Maybe for starters, maybe you can tell us about 2 of your packages and what do you include?
Okay, I'll start with the standard package which you asked, Mr. Maxwell. The standard package, we mainly focus on the introductory part to of the farmer to our company. We sit down and we talk with the farmer in a formal meeting which is actually free. For example, these are just stories into agriculture and actually where you could be in agriculture. Then after the meeting, we actually have what we call the farm visit. The farm visit is where we go to the farmer's place and we actually assess viable business enterprises a farmer can partake or can take or do in the agricultural business. And after that assessment, we give you a detailed report of everything that you are capable of doing. That's the standard package. The VIP package, we start from each and every finer detail. We will be with the farmer. For example, we are here in a chicken house or a fowl run. We start with the farmer before the pre-placement actions or pre-placement duties to the market. All the other processes are included in that. That's the VIP package. But the standard package, we just are talking and we're actually assessing where we can be, the farm visits and everything if you have your own place.
Okay.
Yes.
No, this is interesting. So for beginners, what are the common mistakes that you have seen that beginners do in the poultry industry?
For beginners, there's a gap of misconception and misinformation. I would like to say there are a lot of people that talk about if you have 100 chicks, expect $100. That's not the case.
That's dollar per bed.
That's dollar per bed. That's a myth.
Okay.
In business, when you're starting a business, there's always going to be mortalities. There are going to be pre-harvest losses that we expect in a business. So with that, you need that finer detail that actually magnifies and actually tells you where your profits are, which means you need a detailed budget. So when you need a detailed budget, you actually need people who know and who are actually into the field. So you need expert guidance if you do not know the enterprises that you're actually venturing into.
100%.
Yes.
So meaning you should not venture into something that you do not know about.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So you as an expert, or Harvest Horizon as an expert, what knowledge gaps do you see that are in maybe smallholder or in commercial farmers that are doing poultry?
I'll start with gap number 1. Gap number 1 is where you are actually sourcing the feed or the feed quality that you're actually using. The feed quality determines the weights of the birds. Then the chicks themselves, the breeds that you're using, the feed that you're using, and also the management side of things. If you do not know, like there are certain different management styles that you need to implement according to the different farms or different farm setups. In poultry, you actually need to be on the ground. We don't need phone farmers. Because
soft-on farming.
Exactly. Soft-on farming will lead you nowhere because you are actually dealing with information that is based on second-hand actually being offered to you. But when you're actually on the ground, you know what's happening and you know what needs to be done. Yes.
100%. So in farming, you need hands-on. Day in, day out. No, this is interesting. So, what's your take, maybe as a follow-up question, to someone who is in the diaspora, a Zimbabwean in the diaspora, who wants to venture into farming, but in the meantime, they are based in the diaspora?
Yes.
So, as Harvest Horizon, what can you do to help such kind of a farmer?
That's where we go back to the VIP package. Exactly. One thing that I've also seen, another gap, which will actually answer that question is, most farmers rely on relatives to handle their businesses that are not actually capable or knowledgeable in doing that enterprise.
Business.
Exactly. So by by only that, there are families that actually break up. And with all that, families being broken up, there are also losses that are actually encompassed in all that involving families into a business. Involve a party, sign a contract that is actually that will actually put you on legal terms and give you assurance of things and knowing the boundaries between part A and part B. That's where Harvest Horizon comes in with the VIP business.
So for someone who is out there, someone who is the diaspora,
yes,
you have to engage Harvest Horizon. They do it the expert way.
Yes.
They do it in a profitable manner without breaking those much needed relationships with your relatives. Let's move on to good agronomic practices and livestock management.
Yes.
What's your advice in terms of brooding for day-old chicks, given Zimbabwe's temperatures and its power supply?
Okay, so in brooding broilers and actually brooding chicks, here we have 5 pillars that we actually work with. Number 1 is feed and water. It's common, it has to be available, clean and sufficient. Then we go to
100%.
temperatures. According to the temperatures that we actually need in broiler production, we need 33 and 32 degrees. But sometimes our temperatures go beyond that. So by that, we have other facilities or other things that we look at. We look at roof race spraying and a lot of things that are actually involved in that. By cooling the roofs, you're actually able to cool the temperatures in what? Inside. So by so doing, you actually have to be in a position where you actually have thermometers in your houses, and also there is chick behavior. Chick behavior actually determines whether the chicks are in a cold environment or are actually in a hot environment. That you also have to know as a farmer if you're actually in the field. Exactly. So to answer your questions on temperature, when you're brooding your chicks, you need to start with, depending on the parent ages, you need to start with 33 and 32 degrees, and after each and every 4 days, reduce those temperatures by 1 degree. With that, that's a benchmark. But then when you're actually in the field, you're able to know, you know what, with my chick behaviors, my chickens right now, they actually need lower temperatures, high temperatures, and it also goes hand in hand with ventilation. As you can see, we have actually ventilated to actually allow airflow inside and oxygen as well for the chicks to actually be in a position to breathe properly and actually to breathe well.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. So, my second question, my follow-up question on good agronomic and livestock management practices.
Yes.
So how should farmers manage livestock feed to keep on maintaining quality, especially during days of shortages?
So when you are managing feed, we have what we call FCR. That's the feed conversion ratio. The feed as to the live body weights of the animals. So that has to tally for you to be number one, profitable in the business and to remain in the game. So with that, by actually managing that, for example, when we're actually in broilers, we have good management or good management projects or programs that we undertake. For example, those 5 pillars I was telling you about. If the chicks are in an environment where it is actually hot, they are stressed, they don't eat. But if they're in an environment where it's actually hot as well and cold as well, they don't eat. They need a conducive environment so that they continuously eat the feed. They continuously feed in a way that actually helps them to grow, and you as the farmer, you are able to attain profits from that.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh no, this is interesting. So, Donald.
Yes.
What's your take? I've heard people say farmers in the broiler production sector, some they play around the feed. Some they say no, you can just mix with maize.
Yeah.
Some they say no, you can even give the chicks antiretroviral drugs. What's your take on such malpractices in poultry production?
Well, you need to be knowledgeable to actually ascertain the nutritional value of the feed, or to actually be in a position to know how many nutrients, or actually the protein content that's actually needed by your broilers to actually grow. You know, there are companies that are actually there, that are actually formalized, that actually make these feeds, depending on the feed, depending on the livestock that you're actually taking care of. For example, in broilers, we have super feeds. We have Ivans. Those guys, they make the feed that's adequate for the birds, and we actually recommend, because we have seen it work. But then to other people that are doing malpractices, they end up causing other effects or diseases that actually, we call them zoonotics. Because zoonotic diseases from
the word zoo.
Exactly. They travel from species to species.
Okay.
So right about now, when you use antiretroviral drugs, you don't know what actually is what actually mutates in their genes, and you're actually taking that in. So by doing that, you're actually taking in the drugs as human beings as well. So you are ending up selling malnourished foods, or foods that have actually drugs that we actually do not need as human beings, that will actually deteriorate our health and our life expectancy as a nation.
Thank you, Donald.
Yes.
Well articulated. Donald, I think let's move to inputs management.
Yes.
So, I understand that feed, some say it constitutes the bigger percentage of your costs, especially in poultry production. So, my question is, how can poultry farmers identify genuine feed given the increase in counterfeit products that are on the market?
All right. First things first, when you are buying a product, you need to go to the right institutions where it's actually being manufactured. Don't get lay-by goods or goods that are actually on the road, right? So for starters, you actually, where are you getting your feed? That's the question.
That's the main question.
That's the main question, because you don't expect good products from the streets or the roadside. Go to where the feed is actually manufactured. For example, I've actually given examples of super feeds and some of the institutions that actually manufacture good feed. We right about now in this project, Chenai's project, we're actually using super feeds.
Super feeds.
And it's actually doing wonders, because we are seeing the ways that we're actually getting the FCR is actually good. And at day 14, we got 500 grams per bed. That was the average weight. And it's actually making sense, because you know what, the FCR is good, and we are actually in a good direction. We're heading towards the best direction.
Interesting.
Yes.
My next question is on the chicks themselves. What should farmers consider when they are looking for day-old chicks? You have talked about the feed. Does the same also go with the chicks, where someone sources their day-old chicks?
Yes, actually, to answer your question, yes, it actually does. Because in as much as there are many companies, what I would advise a farmer is to go to a reputable company. Companies that have a track record of actually doing good. I can give examples like Ivan's, like Ivan's and maybe some companies that are coming up that are actually doing more urban chicks
in day-old
chicks. But what you actually need to look at is when you receive your chicks, number one, are they vaccinated, are the narvals closed and everything, are they actually good to your standards? And as well, you need to be in constant communication with the companies that actually hatch these chicks, because in a way they are those companies that they just give you the chicks, then they just go away and disappear. We call them fly by night, you know.
Fly by night,
exactly. Entrepreneurs. They just come, give you chicks, then
they go.
There's no communication, because we have something that we call DOAs, like death on arrival of chicks. You need to be in constant communication so that if there is anything that is expected, they'll actually correct it in the next batches. Because let me tell you something, in this business, we talk of perfection, yes, but then there's no such thing as perfection. It's either a win or a lose, but we try to minimize the losses. So in constant communication, they are also a business, but their business is not 100%. The only thing that's 100% in this life is actually knowing that they are going to be taxes. But then
death and taxes,
they are the only thing that are certain. But then if you are into a business, there's always going to be a loss, or there's always going to be a profit. So being in constant communication with them so that they rectify their mistakes is actually good. So deal with the reputable companies that do supply chicks.
The ones that really appreciate your feedback.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
You have mentioned something quite interesting. I have a new term in my vocabulary.
Yes.
DOA. So, as Harvest Horizon, from the projects you have done, have you ever faced DOAs, and how have you managed to rectify such?
All right. DOAs, I'll start by actually expanding it. DOAs just means death on arrival chicks. We have faced that. So if they are day on arrival chicks, it actually is a sign that there was something wrong with the transportation, and there might be other things that are actually aligned, a lot of things. We have faced that on many occasions. Then we go back to the breeders. Then we actually tell them, we have a certain percentage of death on arrivals. Then they'll compensate us on the death of arrivals, depending on it's either the next batch or the same batch, or along the line they'll find a way to compensating the DOAs.
Interesting. We have companies that do such compensation in Zim. It's quite interesting. Donald, for starters, someone may need to know, maybe for me to have a certain number of chicks, I need some sort of sophisticated equipment. What's the basic equipment that someone must have to start a project like this one?
To venture into broilers, one, you need to have your feed in order. And the feeders and the equipment in general. The equipment, that's the feeders, the drinkers, the charcoal burners if you do not have adequate heat. I would rather actually want my farmers to actually have charcoal burners or actually core heaters. And moving on, as compared to actually having infrared lights, because there's something that we call dark hours, we need to turn off the lights at night. So relying on that on heat, that's malpractice. So we talked about the drinkers, the feeders, the charcoal burners. You also need to have this. We talk of the bedding, the wood shavings. Those are the ones that I recommend in bedding. Yes, the wood shavings. And after having that, the curtains, the side curtains, where we actually allow airflow, and actually sometimes we don't want it. Exactly. The lights as well. With that, you can start your broilers or your broiler project and actually be in a position to actually ascertain profits.
Thank you. So you talked about the drinkers and the feeders.
Yes.
Maybe as a follow-up question, how many beds do you think maybe one drinker or one feeder can accommodate?
Okay. As for the drinkers, talk of let's just say a 10-liter drinker can accommodate 20 to 30 birds.
20 to 30 birds.
Yes. As per feeders, we have something like the 9 kgs, the 12 kgs. But talking of the 12 kgs, they also amount to the same number, 25 to 30 birds per feed.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So let's talk finally about inputs. What's your take on? I've seen that inputs, especially feed, I think it rose by a few cents over the last 2 or so years.
Yes.
What's your take on the rising cost of input versus quality?
All right. So the rising cost on inputs versus the quality that we're getting. Right about now, the feed actually has risen, and the inputs have actually continuously rise. And I would also, basing on the quality hasn't changed that much, because we're still getting the same quality. Actually, by looking at those birds, yes, their average weights, they're actually doing quite okay. But the feed element and the quality side, the cost versus the quality, what we're getting, we're actually putting a strain on the farmer. When we're putting a strain on the farmer, it means we're also putting a strain on the end user.
On the customer.
Meaning to say that the price unit per bed is also going to rise.
100%.
So by so doing, we're actually affecting the GDP of the country,
100%.
the gross domestic product, because what we're actually doing by increasing the inputs, yet not increasing the quality, because the quality hasn't changed at all. It's constant.
It's constant.
But we are raising the prices of inputs, which is actually something that we actually need to actually look at. And if government can actually intervene on that, it will be, as farmers or as farmers that I actually work with, they'll actually be really grateful, because they'll also reduce their cost and also reduce the unit price per bed.
Interesting.
Yes.
I think we'll come on to government initiatives later, but I think let's also talk a bit about maybe productivity and profitability.
Yes.
So on that one, Donald, I would like to understand, you as consultants in the poultry business,
Yes.
What practical steps do you advise farmers to take in trying to improve feed efficiency?
I'm trying to improve feed efficiency.
Yeah, okay. Especially in broilers.
So to improve feed efficiency in broilers, that's just improving the feed conversion ratio. So by so doing, those 5 pillars that I've told you, the availability of feed and water inside the breeders, and also the temperatures, manage your temperatures very well and actually very articulate, because if you don't, your beds won't eat at all. And ventilation is also of key, because look at this bedding that we actually have right here. The bedding is turned, and when the bedding is actually turned, you actually face a lot of mortalities, and some of the chicks, they don't actually get to eat the feed that's actually there. Why? Because the air is not conducive for them. They actually, imagine a human being actually being chopped, yet you're hunting. Your first port of call is actually to rush to safety before you
think of eating.
Exactly.
100%.
So you need to be at a very comfortable place for you to actually eat and grow. Because if you have stresses, you might eat, but you won't grow. Because you have a lot of stresses that are going through. So the digestive system of a bed, the bed actually digests something like 30 to 40% of the feed that it actually takes. So when there is stress on top of that, it means that it's only now digesting 10%. So you're losing feed all the time. The feed is just running through.
The bed is not growing.
The bed is not growing.
Okay.
We have faced a lot of cases where farmers actually they have everything, but then the feed is just running through, but the beds are not growing.
Okay. Donald, I'll go back to the first myth that you debunked.
Yes.
The dollar per bed myth. Some people think that maybe if I have 10,000 birds, then it means I'm going to make $10,000. So, what's the reasonable profit that you think maybe someone can make per bird after factoring in feed, after factoring in lighting, management costs, and all the needed costs at a project? What's the cost per bed that you think maybe? What's the profit per bed that you think maybe someone can realize?
Okay, using the law of prudence and being actually generous, a farmer can start making a profit of 50 cents per bed. If things, let's just say, they are not as good and the market is not really giving, but then it's from 50 cents to 65 cents when things are not really okay. But then when things are really okay, you expect something like 70 cents. But then if you don't want to disappoint yourself, tell yourself that you're going to get at least 50 cents per bed. So when you get into business with that mindset, you won't get disappointed along the lines.
Interesting.
Yes.
Because Donald, we have heard of people who are getting into this business. Maybe that person, at a point in time, maybe they were previously employed full time. They lose their job, or maybe they retire due to other conditions. Then maybe they think of getting into the chicken business, and they'll be thinking, with this amount of dollars, if I get this number of birds, I'm going to make this amount, certainly, because I'm going to get $1 per bird. So maybe it's an important thing that you stress that no, the $1 per bird, it could be made. You have to take time to make some dollars. So in the business, what's the reasonable time that you think maybe starters need to take so that they can start making profits?
All right. For you to actually start or realizing profits in the poultry business, you need something like 2 to 3 batches. To actually be honest, 4 batches actually. To actually start making profits or realizing the profits that you have actually worked for the past months. So that means something like actually putting 2 months per every batch. That's something like 8 months.
8 months
for you to actually start to realize 8 months plus. Because it can reach 9 months, because we talk of dead periods where we actually don't put birds because we're trying to care for other diseases so that they won't be incubated.
Okay.
So with that, just take a look at, just expect something like 9 months to start realizing
from 9 months
profits in the poultry business. Yes, you start slowly, but then what I've realized is that a business that starts gradually has a future, and has a future to success. But if you start with booming, what's the next step? It's a downfall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting, Donald. So, in the poultry business, or in farming in general, from the farmers that I've seen, they just talk of random numbers. Like, I have 10,000 birds, I'm making $10,000, but then to ask them, what was your cost for the feed? Maybe someone doesn't remember. What was your cost for heating and lighting? Someone doesn't remember. So, what are the important records or some simple records that you think a farmer should keep, especially for those that are in the poultry business?
Alright, the records, we start with the mortality records. Then we record each and every receipt that we receive. Be it the feed from the supplier, we record it down so that we take note of each and every cost. And the most important one that most people actually miss is the transportation costs.
The transportation cost.
That's where people actually say, $1 per chip, because they are not recording those minute costs that actually will increase the cost value, or what we call the total variable costs of actually rearing these broilers. Exactly. So in that, a lot of things and in a lot of dynamics, you need to record this. Actually, the mortality records, the feed records, and to actually every minute detail, everything that goes into the chicken or fowl run, record it.
Okay. Everything,
including the pays that you actually give people, the salaries,
including the lunch money that you think of spoiling yourself as a farmer.
Exactly, included.
For now, let's talk about something from your experience. What do you think separates farmers who are successful in this broiler business from those who you think maybe are struggling?
Okay, Mr. Maxwell, it's so unfortunate that we have a lot of farmers that go into business without knowing what they're doing. They think this is child's play. Oh, my relative has done it, so
So I should do it and I can make money.
Yes, it's so fascinating. So get people who have expert knowledge. That's number one. Then number two, you also have to be there on the ground and give your maximum attention. It's a business. You cannot win this game on the phone.
Self-on farming.
Get someone who's interested, or get a party that you sign a memorandum of agreement, so that the other party will actually work on your behalf, because they have to actually step up to the memorandum of agreement, like Harvert Horizon. Yes. So with that separates the farmer who's actually serious with the business and the farmer who actually doesn't make it in the business. So those two are actually different. The knowledge is power. Wise words from Nelson Mandela.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've seen people who say, I have a relative who is running the project, then maybe them as the farmer, they are somewhere. Maybe they are out of the country, they are doing something in the country, maybe they are employed elsewhere. I think Donald has stressed it enough. Please be there. If you are not there, at least get them as the experts. Because in Shona they say, mbira yakashaiwa mushwene kutumira. Meaning, if you try and send someone to do a project on your behalf, worse if you don't have an agreement with them, definitely that's going to be a failure of the business. Let's move to the next part where we want to talk about challenges that you face and maybe how you are overcoming them. All right. Interesting conversations we are having today. At this moment in time, I'm joined by Nyasha, who works with Donald. Nyasha, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Mr. Maxwell.
Right. So at this moment in time, our viewers, allow me to transition a bit into Shona. For those who do not understand the Shona language, you can check the captions where we are putting the English captions. Mkoma Nyasha, chekutanga ndoda kuti ndimbonzwisisa further kuti imimi se Harvest Horizon pane zvataurwa naDonald, pane here zvamungada kuti muwedzere, zvamunofila kuti maybe Donald ananyatsotaura kuti izvi ndizvo zvimwe zvezvatinoita?
Okay, ndiri kutendai mubvunzo wenyu. So pane zvataurwa naMr. Donald, ndichawedzera, besides kungoita consultants, like kuti tongodedza vanhu kuofisi kwedu tichitaura navo about farming, tinoita futi input distribution.
Okay.
Yeah, tine makambani atinoshanda nawo, Ivins, Supra, and other companies vanotipa ma-inputs todistributa kumafarmers edu necommercial price. Because panyaya dzemacost dzedzo takaona kuti isusu mafarmers edu kuti akwanise kuita profit anofanira anga wanawo ma-inputs neprice iri reasonable. So if you go kumashops unogona kuwana feed yechinhu kana kuti $35, $36, same nemachipsani kana kuti $20, $30 kune mamwe vanotengesa. But isusu just because tine relationship nemakambani
why
vanotitsikisira so that isusu tinonopawo
you can pass that kune mafarmers.
So isusu hatizotengese feed yaya neprice iri high handiti. So ndo zvimwe zvatinoita futi tapedza kutaura nemi tokutengeserai futi mainputs.
Okay.
And also toda kuemphasize cost of production yehuku totaura about broiler farming mostly in Zimbabwe. Makosi anorange kubva pa nangoti average is $3.50 per bird. You need something like $3.50 kuchengeta huku 1. So inogona kuita more kana kuita less.
But that's the average.
So which means ukachengeta ukuya kune $3.50 ukazoitengesa ne $4, which means une profit of 50 cents. Ukatengesa une $4.20
zvichingodaro.
Saka chinonyanyoitika kuti cost of production iri high sometimes ichekuti maybe munhu anenge achirenda maybe kuramba pari kudhura kana asingatorendi obviously cost
yerent yabviswa cost yake ultimately yakudzika futi.
Yes.
Okay.
Then nekuti ofuti kana achichengeta futi kana kushoma zvakanyanya matransport cost nemalabor cost anenge ari high
anenge achidhura
like zvakafanira kuti dziri munodanga for about 2,000 beds.
You have 2,000 beds.
2,000 beds dzinoda vanhu 2 shana.
Okay.
1 per day 1 per night.
Okay.
But same number yevanhu ivavo inokwanisa kuchengeta futi woku 10,000.
Woku 10,000? One person? One person during the day, one during the night?
Exactly.
Okay.
Saka we find out kuti pamunhu ari kuchengeta woku 2,000 nemari kuchengesa woku 10,000 vari kubhadhira labor yakafanana. But manje ane wokushoma ane wokudzakawanda. Same netransport. Kuhaya truck kubva mutauni kusvikira panapa for kutakura 5 tons 7 tons efeed. Same neungohaya futi truck iro rakatakura 15 tons kana 20 tons.
Okay.
So ndo zvimwe zvinoitika pamacost.
Okay.
Yes.
Saka meaning for someone kuti urealize profit, it means ukawedzerawo nhamba yehuku dzauri kuchengeta zvinokuitira nyore pamacosts.
Yes, ndizvo.
Okay.
Even kana madiscount anogona kuwanika.
Anowanika paunotenga feed.
Okay. Kana machicks pacho like zvakafanira machicks vanototanga kuita delivery from 5,000 chicks.
From 5,000 chicks.
Vanoita free delivery. But kana uchtora dziri below that
ufana arrange your own transport.
You have to arrange your own transport.
Okay.
So I think ndiko pandada
ngowedzera ipapo
kungaemphasize and also futhi panyaya yekumanage amafarms and we also do brooding management. Let's say munhu ada kutotanga asati ambochengeta uku anogona that guys come monditiro kana kuti 3 weeks pafarm pangu muchinditira brooding then kana mapesa.
Saka tichiti brooding tine tichireve kune munhu asati atanga kuchengeta uku.
Alright, brooding ndo time yekutanga kureceive machicks achiri maday old. That time panenge pane maximum care inenge ichiitwa manage temperature, ventilation, feed nezvese zvinenge zvichiitika papo. So zvinenge zvichitoda vanhu vanenge vachinyatsoziva zvavanenge vachiita
vachimanage zvinhu izvozvo
because that's the foundation yekutanga chibhuku.
Okay.
So if you fail pafoundation
watofela kumberi automatically
because chinotengeswa pahuku maweights nenhamba yehuku. Saka ukatadza kubata maweights woita high mortality hausisina mari. But zvese izvi even mumvunza mambobvunza mafeed efficiency zvese zvazvo
feed conversion ratios
zvinoshanda kana paitika futi feed brooding.
Okay.
Failure to do brooding.
Failure project, yes. Okay. Saka meaning kwekutanga kweproject ndokuri kuda that extra care yekuti project yedu iite. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Saka Komanyasha, maybe at this moment ndoda kuti ndibvunze zvinhu zviri related to ma-challenges inini amunoona ari kufacwa nemafarmers ari mu broiler farming. Ndati ma-challenges amuri kuona avanofesa ndezvipi zvamunoona kunge zvinofanira kuti zviitwe nemafarmers?
Yeah. The most problem yatiranyanyosangana nayo kumafarmers ataendera inyaya yekuti mafarmers havana information. Vanhu vakavaudza about farming vakanga vasingavaudza zvakangobata pamusoro. Saka munhu anenge achingofungidzira kuti
dollar per bed
takaenda saka isi patinozosvika paground takunyatsokupa munhu breakdown chakati umwane gona kuda kutotanga kutoramba kuti saka inahapana mari handiti but mari inenge iripo patinyaya kuti munhu anenge achingofungidzira kuti dollar per bed. And also imwe challenge yekuita mafarmers akuita farming ndeyekuti they want profit quick ngoti ndikangoita first batch rangu ndatova nemari but zvinoda patience saka zvinotora time sezvambotaura saka ndoimwe challenge. Then imwe challenge futi ndeyekuti munhu anenge awana mari yake ese maybe angoitodhiura akawana kana kuti 20,000 or 30,000 obva atongoti ndakutongonoita ndakutongonoita mabroiler oisa vanhu vasati vakambozviita apa market yacho anenge asina apa cost of production yacho inenge iri high because anenge asina kugona kucalculate even mabudget kuti feed nemachicks so munhu yeye manje anoita loss kada kuti uzomuudza kuti apa anenge
frustrated
andimaona saka ndoimwe problem
iri kuitika yekuti vanhu vari kupinda business ravasiri
kuziva.
Okay, yes. Saka tiri kuti vari kuda kupinda business repoultry production, the team yeHarvest Horizon is there. They are ready to work with you kuti muite mari. Nyasha ngatitaurei nyaya mukuchengeta huku. Pane zvirwere zvinobata huku zvinoita kuti pamwe pacho huku dzibve dzafa. Zvirwere zvipi zvamunoona zvinyanyowanikwa zvinobata huku and imimi semaconsultancies munokwanisa kubatsira vanhu nenzira dzipi? Kana kuti ndezvipi zvinhu zvatingati ndikatongoona kuti huku iri kuita izvi ndoziva kuti huku inenge yarwara?
Ndisati ndataura hangu panyaya zvirwere ndisati ndapinza zvirwere chambotanga ndataura first step yatinofanira kutanga taita kudzivirira zvirwere zvisati zvauya
100%.
So kana uda kuchengeta mabroilers chekutanga patinoita side visit baba tinotanga tanoona kuti pano poda kuchengetera huku pacho pari suitable here. Hapana ari kutaura dzimwe huku like marodran ozi hatifanira kumikisa mabroilers kana network yayo handiti. Saka zvino zvinofanira kunge zvisipo ndozvekutotanga because pane inonzi biosecurity. Biosecurity kudzivirira kuti pasave nechirwere. So then nekuti matanga acho anyatsogezwa akaklinwa here. Then paside pacho panofanira kunge pakachena pari smart ende paine mafood bath mawool bath vanhu vachitanga vageza like pamapinda ndemaita seventies. So ndo zvinhu zvekutanga kuita izvozvo hygiene pamberi. And so kugona hygiene which means even kana zvirwere yes. But however pane mamwe maproblems anoitikawo akaita sekuti panogona kuti ana Newcastle nemamwe madiseases anoitika ana coccidiosis. So tinoadvisa mafarmers edu kuti especially for some of these diseases ana Newcastle unofanira kunge uchiteedzera vaccination program. Yes. So paunotenga machicks every chick supply anotokuudza kuti vaccination program inofamba so kuti madays akati uchaisa MA5+130 day rakati uchaisa vaccine rakati whether mabroilers kana kuti malayers.
Yes. So the vaccine, how to renovaccinate per se? Rinoiswa mvura
mavaccine akasiyana siyana depending nekuti ndepa stage ipi. Kumabroilers tinoisa mumvura then mamwe anoita zvekutora spray. Then kumalayers same kunenge anoiswa mumvura neanospray. Then mamwe acho anoita zvekubaya mainjection. Yes.
I think it's quite clear. All right. Ngatitaurei nyaya yekuti sometimes mabroilers tinombonzwa vanomachengeta vanoti pakanyanyochinja mamiriro ekunze temperature yakanyanyochinja tomboti kwakuchipisa kozongofuma mangwana wacho kuine makore kuine makuti kana kuti kwakuine makuti kozongofuma kwakupisa. Pane here zvinofanira kuti zviitwe pahuku kuti dzisaafektwe kunyanyochinja kwemamiriro ekunze kwakadaro?
iyo yamataura iyo ndo atinoti mavulgarism of nature. Saka munhu paanototanga kutopinda mufarming ndozvino zvinhu zvatinototaura kuti kunogona kungochinja Iti stress inogona kutanga kutongopisa. Hatina zvakanyanya zvatinokwanisa kuita panyaya dzewedha. Tinotryawo by all means, like kana tulese kukupisa kana kuita nanodzikisa toisa ventilation kana kuchitonyera toiso machako and stuff. But pane zvimwe zviri beyond kuti patozonyanya kupisa kwaita stress yakanyanya inotokonzeresa kuti kuite high mortality. Vamwewo vanoisawo masprinkler pamusoro pemarata kuti zvikule down ndezvokungobatsiridzawo. But zvimwe zvacho zvinogona kutikurirawo. Asi tinenge tamboedza.
That's interesting. Right, ngataurei chekupedzisira nyaya yemarket. Sezvambotaurwa naDonald pekutanga kuti vanhu vazhinji anongonzwa kuti huku dzine mari, anongonzwa kuti Chenai yakaita mari nehuku kana kuti Max akaita mari nehuku. Saka kumunhu ari kutanga kuita huku, market munhu angaiwana kupi yemabroilers?
Market muno muZimbabwe iri paviri kana kuti patatu, zvinongosiyanawo nenhamba yekudzwa kuita. Asi chokutanga ndechekuti unofanira kutanga wauya first for consultancy uchitaura kuti
unoda kuita izvi.
But takanyanyotarisana nemuHarare nekuti ndo matinoshandira isusu. Market variko vanhu vanotenga malive goods vanenge vachitodawo kuita izvozvo. Then tozotiwo vanhu vemabhuchawo variko futi, but now it depends nenhamba. Because like kumaabatwa kudzaichitodiwa. But like maabatwa vanenge vachida kana kuti let's say dzakawanda, because kuabatwa kana kuti akuda kuora kana kuti 5,000
iwo unenge usina izvozvo.
Saka market iripo depending nekuti ukuda kuita huku
dzakawanda sei.
Then tiri panyaya yemari apa pakuti tiri kuti munhu anozoda kuteedzera kuti Chenai yakaita mari nehuku. Yes, zvese zvekuita mari nehuku zvinobva pamakosti aya atambotaura. Zvobva futi pakuti advice yatinogara tichipa mafamasi ndeyekuti lese wawana mari zvandikutaura, lese wawana 50,000 wanzwa kuti Chenai yaita mari nemabroilers. Isusu ati advise munhu kuti anobva atora mari yese obva aiendesa kumabroilers. Unotora imwe part yoenda kumabroilers, then imwe part yoita kana kuti business.
Rehuku here futi
kana even chero kuita tuckshop kana kuti zvimwewo mamwewo mabusiness. Kuitira kuti usaise mauya one basket.
Don't put all for your eggs in one basket.
Yes, so that because chinoitika ngekuti vamwe vanhu anogona kunge chiti like labor yake, rent, mamwe makosti ese anenge achitobhadharwa nerimwe business. Then kuhuku kunoku mari ari kuwana kuhuku ndengotengesa feed nemachicks maybe netransport. Saka anenge aine kana kuti 2-3 mabusiness anenge ainawo. Saka iwe uri kuda kuita mari nehuku handiti, asi ndo pari kubva mari yemaschool fees yevanhu, ndo pari kubva mari yemuriwo, ndo pari kubva mari yemuriwo, ndo pari kubva mari yefuel, ndo pari kubva airtime yezvese. Saka at the end of the day hauzoiti profit, unonga kutoti family haina mari. But
unobva wega munhu unoona ari kuita zvefamily.
Nekuti wewe kushanda nechinhu wani. Saka ndo kazhinji kari kuti vanhu anenge achishanda nechinhu wani, saka kuzoita mari pakadaro
kunotinetsei. I understand. Ngatitaure nyaya yekuti mu-consulting business renyu mukuona kwamaita so far ma-cooperative kana ma-smallholder farmers vanonobatanawo vaya vobva vati handei tinotsvaga market, handei tinoita kana contract farming nekambani yakati, muri kuzviona here zvichibatsirawo vanhu mukuwana mamarkets?
Kana vanhu vakanyatsogara pasi vakataurirana vachikwanisa kuzoprodusa maresults anenge achidiwa. Nekuti market chainoda, market ine mastandards ayo. Kana vakati tiri kuda 2 kg, vanogada 2 kg. Kana vakati tinoda huku after 1 week, ndozvavanenge vachitaura. Saka it now depends manje nekuti imimi vanhu vacho munozokwanisa here kuita zviri kudiwa nemarket.
Saka maybe mwe mubvunzo wangu ndewekuti tichida kubatana sema-smallholder farmers tingabatana pastage ipi? Tobatana here takuda kuenda kumarket kana kuti tobatana here tichiri kutotanga kudaita business?
kana muchida kuita partnership hamutangi kubatana makutsvaga market, munotanga kubatana pasati patotangwa project yako. Muchiri kutotanga kutoita consultancy, muchitanga kutobvunza
tichiuya kuharvest horizon tototi tafunga kubatana tite uku.
Motouya motanga mambobvunza tichitaura nemi tichikupai maadvice, then pamaadvice atinokupai aya imi ndimi munozoona mega kuti tobatana here kana kuti toregeza kubatana.
Saka reason yamunganyanya kuti vanhu vanofanira kubatirana kwekutanga sei muchinyanya kuti vanhu vabatane kwekutanga kweproject?
Zvinobatsira pakuzomeka madecision ekunoita, because kana vanhu vakatanga kubatana zvinhu zvisati zvatanga kuvepo vanenge vachiziva kwavakabva kubva kumavambo kusvikira, nekuti mukada kuzobatana pamaketi imimi lese makatochengetawo kudzenyu kudhara makatochengeta dzake. Isusu tobva tapa guys market tinayo but market iri kuda kutenga kune $4. But mimi already pa cost of production yenyu makatosvika kuti $3.90.
Saka it means hamusina profit.
Saka munenge musingachatowirirani kudhara because makatoshanda
makaparadzana nakare hazvichashandi mubatane ngekupedzisa,
hazvichatoiti because makosi acho anenge akatosiyana.
Sometimes also quality inenge yakasiyana. Right. Saka tingati isusu munomu muZimbabwe hurumende yedu, the government or maybe nemamwe maarms egovernment, pane here zvamungada kutenda hurumende kuti muti hurumende iri kutibatsira neizvi or zvamungada kuti maybe hurumende iri kubatsirewo nazvo ineway?
Sofa njambotanga nezvairi kubatsirwa nehurumende. Sofa pane nyangoti hurumende iri kunyanya kukurudzira vanhu kuti vapinde muagribusiness. So tiri kunyatsoona kuti even right now sisi vechidiki tatotangawo tatoyemo then like huku dziri panapa dzinochengetwa nemusikana achangobva kuchikoro ndovatotanga kutodi. Saka iri kukurudzira women empowerment kunyanya ichanyanyi kuridara ngoti vanhukadzi vanenge vakagara kumba
kana kuti wakapedza kudzidza chitsvaga basa.
Saka izvozvi vanhu vakutozviitawo ende takutoona mayouth akawanda akutotanga kutoita nenyaya yekuti tiri kukurudzirwa nehurumende zvakanyanya ende land iripo, land yakatozara kwese kwatiri kufamba tiri kusangana neland wherever. Chero munhu anengada kungoita project yake land iri kumvura. Saka ndo zvimwe zvatakaona kuti senyika ino yeZimbabwe land tinayo, mvura yacho tinayo, mari zvose zvacho atoripo, vanhu vacho varipo futi vanenge vachida kuita. Ndo zvatiri kuona. Then chimwe chatinganyanya kukumbira kuhurumende kumayouth kuti vabatsirike especially panyaya yemarket, then even kana funding yekuti vanhu
vakwanise kutanga maprojects avo, nekuti umwe munhu anenge achitoda kuti anga achiita finance inenge panenge pasina. Alright, there you have it, viewers. Nyasha is articulating how grateful he is to the government of Zimbabwe in terms of its motive to say no. As youth, you should be working. As a recent graduate, you should be working. As women, you should be working. This is my age to the youths who happen to, they're interested in getting into business. They need to, be it farming, be it anything else. The market is there. If you do not have funding, there are lots and lots of ways you can try and explore to get funding. Be it borrowing from your relatives, or even going to the national venture capital of Zimbabwe. Their contact details are in the description of this video, and you can also access financing from banks and other corporates. The most important thing is for you to formalize your business. Guys, there is no government that's willing to fund your business if it's not a formalized business. So you have to register your company, you have to have all the required documents in place. That's where we come as City Cloud. Thank you so much for the time. Maybe let's finally talk about someone arikuti inini land ndinayo. funding nditori nayo ndikwanisa kutonotenga machicks any amount yandoda kunotenga. Mungamupa advice yekuti chi maybe munoti inini ndoda kutangawo kuita machicks, ndeipi advice yamungamupa in general, maybe arikuda kuita kana kubackyard kwepamba paanogara kana chi?
Okay. Yeah, kune munhu wese ada kutanga chino. First advice atinokupa ndeyekuti come kuoffice kwedu, then we have a discussion, then chokuratidza breakdown of everything kuti ukatenga machicks, feed and all the necessary costs zvaunengadi, nema-profits aunga-expect, nema-losses aunga-expect before you start.
Okay.
Because ndo zvakanyanyokosha izvozvo kuti munhu ange aine information achinyatsoziva kuitira kuti mangwana zvikazofamba zvakadai so anenge achiita zvinhu zvakachitoziva. Usamhanya kunoita project usina kutanga wabvunza kune vakambozviita. Ndo the biggest advice. Handikurudzirei munhu kuti kana uine mari enda unoita, ndikatodaro ndenge ndatokurasa
nenge marasa munhu
totatokurasa anonofanirwa kuita. Tanga wabvunza. Yes, asi zvinoita.
Okay. Yes. No, that's all right. Saka ngachiti semashoko enyu ekupedzisira mungada kuti ngatiti kune munhu ari kuti ari kudawo kuita huku, munhu angatanga nehuku ngani dzamunoonawo sekuti maybe munhu achiri kutanga angatanga nehuku ngani kuti awane experience?
Yeah, because chinonyanyo determine number market. Yes.
Okay.
Let's say hauna market, hauna futi capital yakawanda, uchida kuita kubackyard, chero ukatanga even chero nehuku 100 ku 200 ku 300, manumbers wayo are easy kutengesa.
Okay.
Kana usina market.
Okay.
Then kana uine mari but uchida kutanga usmall, ukatango at least 2,000 5,000 heads, it's fine. Because kutangira panhamba iyoyo 2,000 5,000 market inenge isingachanetse futi.
Okay.
Anditi maonero.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Nyasha, and your team for this interview. We look forward to having you again shortly.
Tinokutenda anymore, Mr. Maxwell.
Thank you. Yes. Good day. A warm welcome once again. Here I'm joined by the farmer himself, the proud farmer indeed. Ma'am, a warm welcome. Maybe may you start by introducing yourself and how did you start this project?
Okay, I'm Chenai. I recently graduated from Broiler Agricultural College.
Okay.
So I started this business in December last year.
December 2025?
Yes.
Okay.
This is my second batch.
It's your second batch?
Yes, I'm doing batches of 2000.
You're doing batches of 2000. Interesting. So, how has been the first batch?
Yeah, the first batch went well. It was okay. The first challenge is
Market. Okay.
So, time at such time you stable market.
You don't have a stable market at the moment. Okay. So maybe from the first batch, did you manage to sell all the 2,000 birds locally, or did you have any facilitations on where to sell the birds?
Okay. On 2,000 birds, I had a mortality of 60 birds.
60 birds?
Yes.
Okay.
So in the last 10 years, I'm also
You sold the difference? Okay.
So I got 10 years locally.
Okay. No, interesting. So Chenai, now that this is the second time, what do you think maybe you have learned from the previous batch that you're not going to either repeat, or is it different, right? Or maybe you learned it and you're going to keep on doing it?
From the previous batch, I learned things like I want to management. I thought it was the since I'm
Since you are a graduate.
but ndakatozonoti pane zvimwe zvandisingazivi saka from the previous page ndakadzidza izvozvo saka now I'm correcting and also panyaya yemarket we are starting to look at the market right now.
Okay. So I mean, for previous page makatanga maita the sheets musati mane market
yaivapo but takazotanga kutaura ne1
kusatovarei which is a mistake that you learned from. Okay. So maybe Sanga, as a recent graduate, how does it feel? Are you applying what you learned to college, or you're seeing something different?
I think it's 80% of what I learned to college.
80% of what you learned.
The background vacation in my practical which I did attachment.
Okay.
Ndakaita mabailas, but pane zvimwe zvandiri kuona zviri new.
Okay. All right, interesting. So maybe Chenai, I would like to know, let's say someone is watching this video. They are thinking of going to college. They don't even know what to study. Will you recommend them 100% to do the program that you did at college?
Yes, because if you do agriculture, I will need you to each other. If you want a bus, you can start with, like now you need like a graduate in October. Like I'm going to apply. And you got like a share bus, but it's artificial. But you can pay it.
And now I've seen if you have people, are you employing them or they just help you?
It's helping.
It's helping. But very soon, I know you. Very soon.
Yes.
We'll be thinking of looking for employment and how to get it. Okay. No, interesting. So maybe tell us, with the beds that you have now, how many beds do you have now on the second bed? Have you increased or maintaining the same number? You're still maintaining the same. Okay. So what has been the mortality rate so far?
So far, I'm going to pass the record.
That's 20. So you're doing well.
That's 2014.
Okay, you're doing well. Let's talk about access to markets. Do you think at this point in time, since it's now your second batch and you now have experts on the ground who are helping you, do you think this time you're gonna do well or?
I'm hoping.
You're hoping. Okay. Interesting. Let's talk about your location. How did you find this place?
So zvandakaita ndakasangana neHarvert Horizon pasocial media.
Okay.
So ndakavabvunza more about agribusiness. Vakandiudza zvavakandiudza. Then inini I decided kutanga nemabroilers. So vakati iwo kunogwara ndiko kune market plus ndiko kwaunokwanisa kushandidzana nezvo. So I had to relocate kuuya kuno.
Relocated to come to do this project?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So ndopandakasvika kuno ndakatsvaga nzvimbo kana paiwa renting.
Okay.
Yes. So ndopatauya kuno ndikatsvaga place to rent, tsvagawo danga rakanaka zvese zvese. Ndikatawana danga rinori, ndakatanga kuita business.
No, this is interesting. So maybe from the information that you have provided so far, are you thinking of doing another project, maybe that's not the broilers, to complement what you're currently doing?
Yes.
Okay. Something agri-related, or you're thinking of this agri-related?
Main challenge and knowledge and renting. So panapa pangori space yekuita mabroilers.
Okay.
Okuichi ndikoda kuita zvimwe zvakaita sehorticulture.
You do not have the land at the moment. That's your main challenge. Okay. All right. Maybe now on the challenges. What other challenges do you think maybe someone listening is eager to help? You may think maybe these are the problems you are facing there are problems are not closer, and what kind of help do you think you need to further accelerate this project?
Okay. So far, cost of production is equally high because of the rents, transport costs. So I'm going to not even really kutoshana. Try to research katama cost. Saka maybe like wana rents, lekata rents. Go increase achi number you. Maybe lekata put the transport cost and what it is.
Okay. That's the main challenge you're facing at the moment. Okay. Alright, funny I had talked about previously with the guys at Harvert Horizon in terms of documenting what you're doing. Do you have, I keep in records diligently?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So sometimes if you buy lunch, then you can have a quote that.
I'm not
okay. Alright.
Even the cashier studying
Oh, interesting. Okay. Maybe to further deep down into the project, what do you think maybe youth out there, since you said you're a recent graduate, now you're doing something, what's your word to the youth out there who are saying, I need to win it out to end up basa. And certainly, basa reko entrane zhandaka dzidza zvisati munoda kuencourage
ini ndoda kuvanzira kune wangu yeagriculture kuti musagadza knowledge makaenda makadzidza kuchikoro and you got the knowledge zvishandisei background. You can start small uchitsvaga basa unokwanisa kutobatsirika.
Thank you. Alright, ngatitaurei nyaya yekuexpanda the business. So maybe when you want to expand, are you thinking of expanding within Harare, or you are thinking of other markets outside of
Other markets outside. Apa ndakatongouya because I'm making it Harvert Horizon. Saka ndikuda kutanga kuti ndikure business. Ndinogona kutotora kuti ndichitoi business rechikoro. Apa ndikuda kutanga kubatsira.
Okay. Oh no, this is interesting. So maybe your final words to someone out there who is listening, what would you like to say? About which are coming, maybe about the trainers or about which are in other business and what coming related.
So ndikada kukurudzira vanhu kuti kane inobata, kane ine mari. You can start small but uchikura uchitenda.
Okay. There you have it, viewers from Chenai, a recent graduate, a young lady, full of energy, who is doing this project. If Chenai can do it, you too can do it. Thank you.